Welcome back to Jay's Tech Tips. So today we'll be looking at the Samsung Galaxy A80. Now, this is an alright phone, but there's obviously a few issues. So let's talk about the full screen display. Now, full screen, not exactly, because if you look at it slightly at the base of the phone, there's a little black strip at the bottom that you can't use. So full screen, not 100%. Now, what I do like is when you're gaming on this game called Second Galaxy, alright, and you hold the phone in a way like this, and you got your thumb wrapped here and your other thumb here, and you can play the game in such a way where it is quite immersive. But the base of the phone, you got your two little fingers, this bit here, and your two middle fingers, they wrap around the phone like so, and you're touching it ever so slightly. So when you play some other games, unlike Second Galaxy, which doesn't actually matter if you touch the screen slightly because it has dedicated buttons on the screen, so when you touch those, it works. But when you put your hands like this and your fingers wrap around it ever so slightly, you will be touching the screen because some of the games do utilize the full screen. And when you're touching it, it's going to do different actions than you want it to. I found this out just yesterday in my bed when I was trying to play this game called Hustle Castle, and it just kept doing different things that I wanted to do, and it was very annoying. Now, a case would solve this problem very easily, but it doesn't come with a case. What it does come with are headphones, which the OnePlus 6T never did. Now, the reason I'm talking about the OnePlus 6T is because both the Samsung Galaxy A80 and OnePlus 6T have the same port. And the OnePlus 6T did come with was a case. Now, if this came with a case, it'd be very nice and very convenient, but it doesn't. So what you have to do is buy a case for an extra £10, £15. But this phone costs about £300 to £400. You'd think it should come with a case. Now, cases are very quite easy and simple to buy, and even though it doesn't protect your phone fully, some do a bit better job than others, just so it was more convenient to use your phone. You'd think that Samsung would put you with a case, especially considering it has such an odd feature where your camera comes out and it rotates around and it goes back down again. So that would be really nice because having a case for this phone feels a bit weird. I haven't looked into them yet, but it feels like it's going to be a bit of money. Maybe not, I don't know. Or it's going to be an odd design. So maybe they dodged a bit by not building a case for this phone. Maybe they have got a case for this phone. I haven't looked into it yet, but a case would have been really nice for it to come with. Now, the back of the phone is also glass. The front of the phone is also glass. So where do you stop with the glass? Around the sides, Yes. It's got a little metal strip around the side. So the back and the front are glass. But where the buttons are on the edge, it's metal, not glass. So when your phone actually, you drop it, it's going to be broken on the front and the back. But the sides will be perfectly fine. That serves you no purpose because, the where you want is the front and the back because you got the camera that sticks out a bit as well. So there are a few other problems with this phone. When you put the phone face down and you try and access the camera, it doesn't want to come out because it's against the surface and it's stopping it from moving outwards. And all it makes is this really horrible motoristic noise of and then it just goes back down. It doesn't try and come out at all. It just goes for 5 to 10 seconds, tries to come out and goes back down into the phone. And it goes, try again. There was something blocking its path. It couldn't be opened. Some sort of issue as it comes up on the screen. There are a few other problems with this camera as well. When you try and access it and there's a bit of dust or something that's in the way, it won't actually come out. Despite it being really easy, it has got hardly any room to flip around. So if there's something in the way, it doesn't want to do it. That is a massive problem as well. So if your camera doesn't want to come out, you're like, well, is it broken? Because that's what you'd think. Because this is a moving part, the first thing to break on this phone would be your camera. Even though it's got 40 plus megapixels on it, and it's one of the best features of the phone next to the full screen display, you're like, well, that was a waste of money. So, yeah. And the second thing, or whatever thing this is, when you try and record a video, sometimes this happens. So I just got back from the, oh wow, it's glitchy. Jesus Christ. Oh, it's kind of glitchy on the screen for some reason. Don't know why. Just went all weird. Yeah, so It's still doing it. It's shaking so much. What's going on? I'm going to stop this and figure this out. Now that should never happen in a million years, but it does. So that's either a software issue or there's something wrong with the camera itself that keeps that it's moving inside, or there's some sort of moving part in the camera and it's not properly fixed. Because when you actually tap it at the top, you can hear it. Not sure if you can hear it, but if you put your finger side to side, it actually moves sideways as well. That's a massive problem. Like, you don't want to happen. So yeah, there's a lot of issues with this phone in terms of moving parts and, you know, protecting it and how vulnerable it is just to damage. It's insane. Now the speakers aren't horrible, but they're not exactly amazing because I've only got one speaker grill. So it's got one at the bottom, you've got your charging port, and it's got the dual SIM socket at the next to the charging port. Now I never used a dual SIM socket before. I've only ever got one SIM on my phone. I don't see the purpose of that. Maybe they could put that somewhere on the side, make it more convenient, and having two speaker grills. That would have been nicer. So let you just show you guys the sound quality. Now this is going to be in full, just going to be any old random stuff. After the adverts finish playing. Open it. Now it's not bad, but when you get it too close to your ear, you can hear this sort of like white noise effect on certain songs, and especially for quiet songs when it try and boost the audio a lot, you get this weird white noise effect, and it's not very pleasant to listen to. So they're not very clear at a higher volume, but they're not horrible. They're about a bit better than mid-range for audio, I'd say. Inside it's got a new Snapdragon that's came out this year, but I think they called it a 710 or something, which I believe they're 850s out. I thought you get higher, you're supposed to get better, and it's gone down one, you know, it's quite confusing. Storage wise, 120 gigabytes, so it's good. It's got decent amount of storage, you know. It's an Android phone, so the Android phones generally, you know, they try and look for the best sort of megapixel spec for your camera. But the issue with that is it's actually got the worst zoom in you've ever seen in your entire life. Some of the features on the camera are just god awful. So when I try and actually use, I don't know, the night mode, the night mode was the funniest thing I have ever seen in my life. On pure darkness, it was just darkness and a little bit of light, alright? All it did was it just had a bit of like color there. So you can see that it's got a bit of light there. And now that was duller, like there was hardly any light in it. All it did with that light, it was expand it slightly and saturate the entire of that area where the light was, which destroyed the image and it made it worse. So the night mode is rubbish. Okay, there's no reason for the night mode to even exist on this camera. It just serves you no purpose. I've seen the iPhone 11's night mode. Oh my god, it's like night and day. Jesus Christ. So yeah, pure darkness doesn't work. A little bit of light doesn't work. Night mode just does not work at all for this phone. Now, this is a thing called a blur effect on the phone, which actually works quite nicely. Overall, it's not a bad phone, but for £400, £300, cheapest people can find it is like £330 on eBay. Cheapest I can get was £300. Would I pay that much money for this phone? I did, but do I regret it? Yes, I do. This phone should be so much cheaper than it actually is, but because it's new, you know, it costs so much money. But is it worth it? No. No one's really talking about the Samsung Galaxy A80 anymore, to be honest, because when the iPhone 11 came out, you're like, oh, when did this phone come out exactly? What is this phone again? It's got what feature, you say? Stabilization features? No. The video is god awful. I don't know why they think the video on here was supposed to be so good. I've shown you a picture of it. That is horrendous. That kept occurring over and over again. It's either a software issue or it's a hardware issue, and they need to sort that out ASAP. Otherwise, this phone is going to die into the abyss. I can show you a bit of the gaming side of things before I do go. So when it loads up, it has two black bars around the sides, and that feature does also appear in this game. So it has a little black bar around the side there and side there. So you can hold it and play the game quite nicely, and you know you don't have to interfere with the game too much when you have two opposable thumbs. You can play it, press it, and you know it has dedicated buttons so you don't get in the way. Whereas you're playing, I don't know, this other game called Hustle Castle. That's what it's called. Um, your fingers wrap around it in such a way where you press on it with your middle finger by accident, and you can cause unnecessary clickage. So I have only just like put my hands around it, and I've already caused unnecessary clicks. So it's already gone into a different sort of mode from the screen. So this is the home area, which is, you can see, is slightly different, and that was in maps. So what I did was put my hands around the screen and it pressed the button, because they're at the base of the very corner of the edge of the screen, right there, that little circle, which would switch over the two different areas. Now I was trying to do something completely different, but I went there instead. So that is the main issue in gaming. You could accidentally press something completely different and ruin your experience. And it is very frustrating, but having a case would solve this problem. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like, subscribe, comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.